Okay, so this is not in the book. This is just something that is on our district stuff that we are supposed to teach, and it's not in the book where we need it, so I'm just going to go ahead and teach it myself. So I do have 3 examples that I've already written out, so please just pause the video. If you don't have graph paper, just graph it the best you can. Try to make this one look like it has the same slope. Try to make this one look like it has the same slope. Since we are comparing key features of linear functions, we're going to compare them. Just make sure they're close. They don't have to be exact, but just make sure they're close. Okay, so this is function A. Remember, function, that's just a relationship. And then function B, that's just a different named or a different function. Okay, so which has a greater slope? So the first thing I'm going to probably do when I'm comparing is I want to make sure that they're in the same form. In this case, they're both linear, or they're both graphed. So it's pretty easy probably for you to say which one has the greater slope, but I still want to go ahead and get you guys in the habit of doing the same thing. So let's go ahead and write the M equals, remember M is slope. Okay, so if our slope is the M, and I'm looking at this point right here to this point, I want to figure out how much is it going up. So it's going up 1, and then it's going over 1, 2. So remember, you always set it up as rise over run. So I would set it up as 1 over 2, or 1/2. Okay, this one, and you remember it has to be constant, so that's 1, and then 1, 2. This one is 2 and down 1. If I'm going backwards, 2 and 1. Okay, so those are all consistent. They're all constant, so that's, we know it's a linear function right there. Linear function. Sorry, I got white out on myself a minute ago. All right, and then function B. Let's look at this one. So we have this point right here, this point right here. So it's 1, 2 over 1, 1, 2 over 1, and again 2 over 1. I could also go back and down. Yeah, that's right. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so this one has a slope of 2 over 1, which is also just 2. So this one has a slope of 2. This one has a slope of 1/2. We're supposed to find the one that has the greater slope. So which number is greater? Would you rather have half of a dollar or $2? Well, I would definitely rather have $2 than half of a dollar. So function B has a greater slope. So, and you can also see that because it's steeper. It is steeper. All right, let me see if I have a different colored pen in here with me. Okay, so then this next one says, which function above has the greater y-intercept? So we're going to look for the greater y-intercept. I don't think you can see that that's a different color. No, you cannot. I'll do it in green marker. So a greater y-intercept. So remember, the y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So we have that, and we have that. Don't let that little 1 there confuse you. So this one actually has 1, 2. So function B the y-intercept is 2. And then function A has a y-intercept. I've been writing through, darn it. But that's okay. I've already finished that one. It has a y-intercept of -1. It asked for the greater y-intercept again. So B happens to have the greater y-intercept. So B would be our answer. Okay, so function, or example 3. So this one's a little bit more challenging, just because if you, right off the bat, you should notice that relationship A, and I like to use different words here so that you don't get used to me only using one, and then when you get to a test or a quiz, or not a quiz for me, but some district test or whatever, you freak out because it doesn't say the same thing. So this is just relationship, the equation, this is function, whatever word they use. This is called A, and this one's B. You can see that this is a graph and this is an equation. I very much suggest you always have it somehow, the information coming from those two, written in the same way. So I'm going to write, since we're talking about slope again, I'm going to write m equals on this one, and I'm going to write m equals on this one. So if I want to find the slope, which one has the smaller slope, I definitely need to figure out what the slope of each of them is. So this one, the slope of the equation part, we remember it's mx plus b. So the slope is always with x, so it would be 3. This one, the slope, notice it's here, and I have to count to this point, so it's up 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's over 1. So the slope would be 4 over 1, which is just 4. So relationship A has the greater slope. Oh, it says smaller. Darn it. See? Pay attention to the details. Students do that all the time too. And I do it too. I make mistakes just like you guys. My bad. So we want the smaller. Hopefully one of you was in the video and you're like, oh my gosh, she made a mistake. So, yep, that happens. So the actual answer should be relationship B has the smaller slope because it has a slope of 3. Okay, something I do want to talk about is sometimes you're going to be given one like that has a table. So if this one had a table and it said 0, 7, 1, 10, 13, you might also have to find your slope from the table beforehand, and not have the equation. So I might have to go, okay, this is 3, this is 1, this is 3, this is 1. So then my m would be 3 over 1, which is just 3. So pay attention to the way they write it. If they write it and they're asking about slope, just find the slope from the table, find the slope from the equation, or find the slope from the graph. Okay? So that is comparing key features. Sometimes they get a little bit harder, sometimes they're pretty easy.